The burden of freedom teaches that freedom is not a gift to be enjoyed casually but a responsibility to be carried deliberately. According to Munroe, freedom without responsibility destroys individuals, families, institutions, and nations. The tragedy of freedom is not oppression, it is mismanagement. Freedom is therefore called a burden because it demands discipline, maturity, accountability, purpose-driven living, leadership capacity. Without these, freedom degenerates into chaos. 1. Freedom is not escape, it is assignment. Munroe stresses that freedom is not merely release from control but entrance into responsibility. Many people desire freedom because they want relief from rules, authority, or accountability. But true freedom assigns you to self-governance. When no one controls you, you must control yourself. Freedom places the weight of decision-making on the individual. This is why many people secretly prefer oppression. It removes the burden of choice. Key emphasis. Freedom exposes character. It does not create it. 2. Freedom without purpose is dangerous. Munroe repeatedly ties freedom to purpose. Freedom is safe only when guided by purpose. Otherwise it becomes destructive. Purpose gives boundaries to freedom. Purpose directs choices. Purpose defines limits. Without purpose, talents are abused. Time is wasted. Power is misused. Liberty becomes self-indulgence. Strong emphasis. Freedom is not for pleasure, it is for purpose. 3. The heavy price of choice. Every freedom produces consequences. Munroe teaches that the ability to choose is the heaviest responsibility of freedom. You are free to choose. You are not free from the results. This principle applies to relationships, finances, leadership decisions, moral behavior, national governance. Freedom matures only when people stop blaming others for outcomes and accept ownership of results. Key emphasis. Maturity is measured by how well you carry the consequences of your freedom. 4. Leadership, the highest expression of freedom. Munroe presents leadership as the ultimate test of freedom. Leaders have the greatest freedom, and therefore the greatest burden. True leaders decide when others hesitate, accept blame when others hide, sacrifice personal comfort for collective good. Leadership freedom is never personal privilege. It is public responsibility. Strong emphasis. The higher your freedom, the heavier your accountability. This applies to parents, pastors, CEOs, presidents, and community leaders. 5. Why nations fail after gaining freedom. One of the most striking emphases of the book is Munroe's application to nations. He explains why many nations collapse after independence. Political freedom arrived before moral maturity. Leaders inherited power without preparation. Citizens demanded rights without accepting duties. Freedom without strong institutions, disciplined leadership, educated citizens, results in corruption and instability. Powerful emphasis. Greater than. Independence is not freedom. Competence is. 6. Discipline, the guardian of freedom. Munroe insists that discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is its protector. Discipline preserves liberty, prevents abuse, sustains long-term success. People who reject discipline often misuse freedom and later cry for control. Key emphasis. Freedom survives only where discipline is honored. 7. Spiritual responsibility and moral law. The book strongly emphasizes the spiritual dimension of freedom. Munroe teaches that freedom originates from God, and therefore freedom must align with divine principles. Freedom without moral law becomes rebellion. Authority without submission becomes tyranny. Liberty without righteousness becomes corruption. Strong emphasis. Spiritual discipline strengthens human freedom. 8. Education and training, preparing people for freedom. Munroe argues that freedom must be learned. True education trains judgment, develops character, teaches consequence awareness, builds leadership capacity. When people are freed without preparation, they misuse liberty. Key emphasis. Freedom given without training becomes a curse. 9. Personal responsibilities of freedom. Munroe challenges readers to ask hard questions. Can I manage my time without supervision? Can I handle success without arrogance? Can I remain disciplined without enforcement? Can I lead without abusing power? Strong emphasis. The proof of freedom is not what you demand, it is what you manage. 10. Practical life applications very emphasized. Personally, govern your desires. Accept correction. Live purposefully. Practice self-control. In leadership, build accountability systems. Choose integrity over popularity. Prepare successors. Protect institutions. In society, value education. Strengthen moral foundations. Develop leaders before handing them power. Final emphatic conclusion. The burden of freedom delivers a sobering truth. Freedom is heavy, and only mature people can carry it. Miles Munroe calls individuals and nations to stop worshiping freedom as pleasure and start honoring it as responsibility. Those who carry the burden will rise into destiny. Those who reject it fall into chaos. For more insightful and faith-lifting audiobooks, do well to like and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching and listening to us today.